You know, even like, you know, even like now when I talk to them about writing comedy, because right now on HBO, Judd Apatow has that George Carlin two-parter, In the Mind or whatever of George Carlin. I don't know if you're familiar with that, if you've seen that.
Yeah.
No. I watched just the first part. It's tremendous. Well, it's you know, all the comedians are talking about it. Well, I worked with Carlin. I worked with him in New York and Hollywood. And then even when I came back here to Cleveland, I got together with him. And when I was writing my second book, which is called Comedy FAQs and Answers, because I had really comedians from literally around the world. I mean, Australia, India, Pakistan, I mean, Russia. I had people sending me questions, you know, about the comedy industry. So that's how the second book developed. I took the questions that were actually sent to me. I answered them the best I could, but I also contacted working comics, people I respected, to get their answers. And I had one sent in to me, says, is it better to work clean or dirty as a comedian? I thought, well, who better to ask that than George Carlin? So I called him. I had his number. And I said, George, he goes, oh, this is great. Call me back tomorrow, 11 o'clock. We'll talk all about this. So I called his office and he gave me an answer for that. But then he went off into how he writes comedy.
Wow.
The George Carlin, how to write comedy technique. And it's no secret. I mean, I know he's told a lot of other comics.
If you don't mind me asking, and this might be, I might have to buy the book, but can you give us a little tidbit of what Carlin said about it? About dirty writing?
Well, I'm not, you know, I mean, his whole writing technique, yeah, got to buy the book. And that one is in my book called How to Be a Working Corporate Comedian. So the thing about George Carlin, I just kind of share what he told me to help someone if they're in like a writer's block or anything like that. Here's what Carlin did.
Okay.
But Carlin, when I talked to him, you know, I mean, the guy's a legend. You know, you can't put him in a box. You can't say he says this, he says that. But from my interactions with him and talking, you know, he never considered himself to be a dirty act. You know, he said the 7 words you can't say on television, but he was making fun of the language. He was not, you know, graphically saying, you know, this is how you do this or whatever kind of stuff. He was talking about language. But he did tell me that a lot of times he used language to make sure he had the audience's attention. And I don't know the language you have on here, but I'll give you the example. The example he gave me on the phone was he's doing a bit. He's talking this and that. If he thinks the audience is nodding off, if he thinks they're not paying attention, he's going to drop a word in there like, and the word he used was pussy fart. That's the word he used when I talked to him. He'll say a word like that. He said, it's like their heads have all hit a speed bump.
Yeah.
He said, it'll be like, both. All of a sudden they're paying attention again because they want to hear what he's going to say next.
Yeah, that's a great technique. That's great. That's perfect.
Yeah. But I mean, that's really, literally, that's exactly what he told me. And, but he was, of course, you know, freedom of speech. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be in this business. You don't have to be. I mean, I've worked with Christian comedians. I've worked with XXX comedians. It doesn't bother me either way. But you have to find your own audience.
Comedians Uncorked.
Don't forget to check out our Comedians Uncorked YouTube channel and just click on that subscribe button. Thanks.